All right. Well, the center is reviewing WhatsApp's response after issuing a notice over its proposed username feature. Amidst concerns that usernames could make it harder for law enforcement agencies to identify users during investigations, the government has sought clarity on how the feature would comply with India's legal and security requirements, particularly with regard to traceability and user identification. WhatsApp has responded to the notice, maintaining that the feature is designed to enhance user privacy while continuing to comply with applicable laws. The development comes days after similar notices were sent to Signal and Telegram, with the government examining whether username-based communication could pose challenges for enforcement agencies. Officials say that the responses are under review and further action will depend on the outcome of that assessment. All right, let's talk about this with our guest. Joining us on the broadcast is Advocate Khushbu Jain, cyber lawyer, Dr. Sharat Kohli, senior economist, with us on the program, Dr. Jayajit Bhattacharya, president of the CDEP Research, Mr. Amit Malhotra, cybercrime investigation specialist, also joining us on the program to talk more about this. Dr. Kohli, I'll begin with you. Well, first of all, it's an obfuscating feature where a username instead of a phone number is going to be the primary mode of identification. How does that compute, with the security apparatus that the government has been pushing when it comes to these platforms? Isn't it making matters worse?
Good evening, Vineet, to you, my fellow panelists, and the viewers. Well, yes, it does, because when you use WhatsApp, it's basically a messaging system, and the penetration of WhatsApp is quite far and deep within the country, if you see the number of users. So as it is, meta platforms like Instagram or Facebook, you have several profiles created there which are false, which are not real profiles. And because WhatsApp is being used for money payment also, we should not forget that there's WhatsApp money as well. So there is because there's no KYC there. The moment you remove the phone number and you make it standalone simply as a username, the KYC feature goes off. With a phone number, there is the Aadhaar, there is the PAN, there is a verification system. Aadhaar is connected and linked to so many things. At least there is some way a person can be traced out. And if you look at the crimes done over the last few years, Vineet, you will find a lot of those cases were solved because of the KYC aspect of Aadhaar. I mean, from Aadhaar, you could probably track down people, notwithstanding the fact that they were Aadhaars made for Bangladeshis as well, and there were Aadhaar can be made. And Government of India recently said that Aadhaar is not a proof of your citizenship. But at least it leaves some trail as far as the person is concerned. But the moment you remove phone number, which means the KYC goes off, and the KYC goes off, you are only left with WhatsApp becomes another Instagram or Facebook. And considering the penetration, considering the extent of usage, there is WhatsApp business, there's WhatsApp money. I mean, WhatsApp is becoming it's much more than a messaging platform at this point of time. So I think keeping country security in mind, there are 145 crore people in this country. And if you leave out the children, even the children for that matter, the penetration of WhatsApp is tremendous. Anybody who's having a smartphone, I have a feeling, although the numbers, if you Google, you will find different numbers coming, but I have a feeling that WhatsApp penetration could be as high as close to 100 crore as far as India is concerned. So, you can't leave it to a username where people will create several users' name. They will keep changing the username. Every time something happens, you could start getting threats. It could be used for illegal activities. Just the way Telegram is, it will probably become another Telegram. And government doesn't want WhatsApp to become a Telegram because it's far too important for people of the country. And I think as far as Meta is concerned, they may not be very happy about the fact that the government doesn't want to allow this feature to sail through. But on the other side, the flip side of the matter is that they should be happy because this only shows how important WhatsApp is as far as this country is concerned. I mean, they should be proud of the fact that WhatsApp is so important that government doesn't want to let it go without KYC. I think the only solution to this problem, although I've got cyber experts with me on the panel, the only solution could be that that WhatsApp could be, with username could be with a KYC. I don't know if that is possible or not, probably not. And that may become a very cumbersome process, and Meta may not agree to that. So all in all, I think country's security is paramount. Taking anti-fraud, preventing measures is paramount. And people of the country need to be protected against misuse. As it is, cyber crimes are growing. There is so many every time you hear of a cyber crime, there is a new method which is invented there. So you don't want WhatsApp to become a platform for frauds, is what I feel is where the government is coming from, Vineet.
That's a good point. Khushbu, how do you look at this? WhatsApp getting too big to hit or too big to miss?
See, WhatsApp's username proposal sits exactly at a fault line between genuine user privacy and also the real problem, which is the fraud. On the one hand, there is a clear benefit to all of us, the ordinary users, that instead of giving our phone number or displaying our phone number to every time you join a group or talk to a stranger or deal with any person that you want to share some documents with or share some pictures with or anything for that matter, or anybody has added you in the group, those 250 people, my number becomes visible. It's easy for them to contact me or call me up. Which again, at the privacy point of view, you and me want that, okay, we don't want our number to be displayed to every stranger or everybody that looks into it. It does help out. But at the same time, in a country where mobile numbers are routinely scrapped, sold, abused in spam, phishing, digital arrest scams, and continue to do so, one has to look into it whether this extra shield is a shield, a privacy shield to a user or a shield to a criminal, and which is a much larger issue over here. I think that's the issue that is coming over. It's not a fight between a government and a WhatsApp. It's a fight between privacy by design, security by design, and whether this is leading to a fraud part of it. Now coming to the next, which is a bigger problem over here, which you started in your talk as well, that this adds a mask for criminals and a burden for law enforcement agencies. One side, we have got laws in India. We have got laws when it comes to impersonation. We have got laws with regard to modesty of women, or or when it comes to child pornographic explicit content, it's a punishable offense. There are so many crimes that are available. When it comes to cheating, when it comes to fraud, when it comes to extortion, when it comes to sextortion, all these crimes, when committed, we do have laws in place to punish somebody. But what happens in the digital world is one cannot punish them because of the part that these platforms practically become a shield against them. Why? Because law enforcement agencies, to catch hold of them, it becomes very difficult, or it becomes very challenging or very time consuming. That's where we came up with a 2021 policy in India, where all these entities were being made sure that you have to share information in a real time or in a time bound manner with law enforcement agencies in India. But WhatsApp, being an identity, being one of the largest utilized application in India by every age group, every sex for that matter, right from a father, mother, or a grandfather to everybody uses it. It has nothing, or a town or a city. Everybody uses WhatsApp rigorously. Now, if you bring in a change like that in a WhatsApp, the kind of exposure it brings in, or kind of exposure it brings into criminals, is very hefty. And at the same time, you also have to see not this in silos but together, that they are wanting to link it, that username can also be linked to your WhatsApp. Your WhatsApp username can be linked to your Instagram or a Facebook. Like for example, if I have an Instagram ID by let's say XSY, the same XXY, I can utilize it as my WhatsApp. Now, scraping is very easy when it comes to Instagram. So imagine it's become so easy for criminals to practically have all the IDs available, and they start committing the crime. Once they start committing the crime, the moment there was a +91 or some other number, plus whatever, it was very easy for our law enforcement agencies to understand Indian number or an outside number. Indian number, what would be the next steps? Ask the DOT to share details, ask telcos to share details that whose number this is belonging to, and start issuing FIR or call them. Now with this identity shield that is coming over, law enforcement agency will have to ask Meta will have to respond. They will say this is complying, not complying, and in the meantime, it is not a benefit to you and me thinking of a little privacy when it comes to sharing our number or details, but it becomes more of a breeding ground for a criminal, a free space for criminals to practically start committing crime at a much better space compared to Instagram and Facebook, which we are as it is seeing that these platforms are becoming a criminal space day by day. Lack of any kind of implementation intervention or a challenge or any lag creates more favorable scenarios for these criminals. So I think that's where government is coming in, and I'm very glad government is coming in at the right space, asking them to pause the rollout and asking them to give us details when it comes to these features which take care of impersonation or a fraud, or a law enforcement agency asking for details and how it will continue. I think that's where sitting today, and I would clap for Indian government to step in at the right time, because it's not affecting one or two, it's affecting 50 crore people who are there on or utilizing WhatsApp in India.
Dr. Bhattacharya, how should the government deal with it? You know, is this a double-edged sword when it comes to WhatsApp? It's a platform which is synonymous with communication in every industry, every realm, every social establishment in our country.
No, absolutely, exactly what you said, that WhatsApp is synonymous with communication, and I think some of the key points have already been covered by Khushbu in terms of what does trust mean. Right now WhatsApp is a platform you kind of believe that the person who's calling up is the right person, that the phone number that's showing up is the right phone number, and if that phone number is saved in your phone, that means you've kind of authorized that person to reach out to you, so you see the name that you have saved that person's name with. So those are the features of WhatsApp, and in that context, when we see that that's taken out for the sake of so-called solving a problem where there may be some set of people who do not want to show their phone number because it may lead to harassment, it leads to a much larger problem, because it leads to the issue of anonymity. If there are anonymous people who are calling you up, and if I take your picture and call myself as Vineet Malhotra, everybody else on this panel will believe that Vineet Malhotra is calling them up. Why? Because in WhatsApp they have come to believe that that person whose name is showing up is that person. Now there is a lot of whataboutery going around it. That what about emails? What about Telegram? What about Signal? Because even those platforms do not have any sort of identification which can be trusted upon. So there is anonymity on these other platforms, which is Signal, email, Telegram. But well, when a QR code comes on these platforms, do we really respond to it? In fact, we are already trying to solve the problem of phishing through email. And that's already one space that we have opened up problems on. Why would we as a society open up another front, which is WhatsApp, by bringing in anonymity? There's also a pushback from Meta saying, well, it leads to a consistent brand and presence of the businesses, but nothing is bigger than protecting the citizens. And each of these platforms are very different. We cannot compare one platform with another. WhatsApp has got 850 million people in India. We contribute to 25% of the user base of WhatsApp. But if you look at Signal, that's hardly 25 million. If you look at Telegram, that's hardly 100 million. And they're already, specifically Telegram is a cesspool of a whole bunch of illegal activities, including sharing and leaking of NEET papers as well as many other papers. Do we want WhatsApp to turn into that kind of a cesspool where anonymity leads to crime and a free flow of all kinds of criminal activities happening? More importantly, imagine a society where there are old people using WhatsApp. They're not aware of any of these conversations. Their child sends their son or daughter sends a message saying, hey, I need money. This is my number, my QR code or whatever. Please transfer. Now, given the picture, given the name being the same, that money will get transferred. If WhatsApp is saying, no, we will block certain usernames, we'll block the name of the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, and so on. But that's not the end of the menace. The menace is with every one of us. If my name gets copied up and shown to other people, and all kinds of activities are done under that name, I take a hit around it, because then I will not be able to reach out for any kind of a solution. Now, what WhatsApp is also saying that, well, if there is a crime, we in the backend have a link between the pseudonym and the actual number. So if police reaches out to us, we can give the connect. Well, how many times can people reach out to police and recover their money? Even now, when there is a direct link, it is very difficult to find a solace to crimes that have happened. Now, if we leave out that connect and we bring in anonymity in WhatsApp, it'll just explode in terms of the number of criminal activities that will happen, and there will be a significant pressure on the cyber police and the regular policing to solve those issues. So it's opening up a huge can of worms if we let WhatsApp go ahead with imposing anonymity in their platforms.
You're quite right, sir. You're quite right. Amit, what do you think is the way out of this confusion that's going to come by as a result of WhatsApp, not showing numbers but only an identity which can be forged by anyone?
Basically, sir, the Ministry of Electronics and Information believes the feature could make certain cybercrime easier if not implemented carefully. The main concerns are basically impersonation. First of all, impersonation is the biggest cybercrime in the world. A scammer could create a username that looks like bank, government, office, or another person. Okay, and the second one is phishing, and fraudsters may trick users into sharing OTPs, passwords, or banking details. And the third one is the main important, that is digital arrest. Uh, Basically, criminals pretending to be police or government officials may find it easier to approach victims without revealing a phone number. Okay, and the harder identification is the most important. Phone numbers are often used during investigation. Users' name may be have the tough to find the identity suspicious. Okay, so if adequate safeguards are not in the place. Okay, so the most important thing is if we make a username on behalf of the phone number, it's so complicated to track a case. Okay.
Okay. Dr. Kohli, anything that you feel that the government can do? The government cannot shut down WhatsApp, right? It is not something which is possible. And the IT Act, which was amended a few years ago, also goes on to say that there has been arm twisting done by a number of these platforms, including Meta, which is of course the owner of WhatsApp as well. What can the government do at this point in time to secure this information blitzkrieg that WhatsApp can definitely manipulate and utilize?
Is this for me, Vineet?
Yes, Dr. Kohli.
Well, I think if you see the number of cases solved in the past vis-a-vis the phone numbers and vis-a-vis Facebook and Instagram, you will probably get an answer there. That how many cases of this impersonation, how many cases of fraud were solved by deciphering somebody's Instagram profile, Facebook profile, or by tracking somebody's KYC, which was given at the time of taking the phone number. I think this is a very simple case, Vineet, of cost-benefit analysis. First of all, Government of India is very clear answering your question that the data of such platforms should be maintained in India. That is the very first condition which government is very clear about. And I think most of the platforms, I hope they have complied with it. I mean, I assume that if they're running, they have complied with it. Then the second, this is a cost-benefit analysis. It's a simple case of cost-benefit analysis because it's a question of whether you listen to the users who want to hide their phone numbers and run across smaller problems. Then there is a larger problem. The larger problem is without the phone number. Many such problems will come out. You will have impersonation, you will have fraud, you have extortion, you have so many things which are going to line up thereafter. So I think there is no choice here. Even if Meta comes up with a reply, Vineet, which says that in case of a problem, we will be happy to provide you. But I have a question there. If there is a Facebook page or a Facebook profile created by, a child, where the child says, I am 20 years of age, whereas the fact that the child is about 8 years or 10 years of age, does Facebook have a system to decipher that whether this user actually is somewhere? If I say I'm sitting out here, maybe from the IP address, you may be able to track down the approximate area where you are probably creating the profile from. But if I start using it from where like Khushbu is right now, she is in France. If I start using it in France, and next day I'm in England, the third day I'm in India. So it'll be impossible for Meta to probably decode the real identity of the criminal in that case. So that is what government is fearing, and I think it is a step in the right direction. I think people who wanted to keep their phone number confidential, people who didn't want to disclose their phone number, they have to be more careful while using WhatsApp. They should be careful while joining groups. They should be careful while picking up phone from strangers. They should be careful while giving their phone numbers at random places. I've seen people passing on their phone number, writing it in registers of retail stores. Okay, this is my phone number, call me when you need, because they want more offers to come. But in the process, their phone number ends up getting sold. The data is getting sold. So I think it is up to the people. We need to be careful with their phone number rather than asking Meta to probably hide our numbers and let us only use the username. You don't want a WhatsApp to become a Telegram, Signal, or another version of a Facebook or Instagram. Vineet. It's as simple as that.
All right, fair enough. Appreciate your thoughts on this, and of course the perspectives of my other guests as well. We've run out of time. We'll take a break. Be right back.